Borders for who? For what? Why? What makes you fall in love with these borders? Someone must just convince me, because you are unemployed now.
Here is the truth about South Africa, economic life in South Africa. If you have not been to school, you will not find a job.
Yes.
Full stop.
Yes.
Gender problems, and at the same time to face the current challenges, which I was rightly informed that they were discussed, most especially the unfortunate situation happening in South Africa.
So South Africa and Nigeria have clashed again, and this time around it happened in Malawi. It happened in Malawi, bro. God. So this is a confrontation between Nigerian lawmakers and South African lawmakers fighting over the name xenophobia. South Africans are saying, or the South African representative is saying, that name xenophobia should not be used for what is happening in South Africa. And Nigerians too are saying, no, this is exactly what is happening in South Africa. It is xenophobia. And the South African is also saying that, listen, you have failed your people. Let's address that one too. You have failed your people. Charlie, I don't know what you think about this. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. You don't lose anything by liking. Just give the video a thumbs up. Let's go into the video, watch, come back and talk.
You can't change the name. You can't change it. Why? What did you do? That is their crime committed. That is a crime. That is a crime committed. We want to accept it. Stop fighting. We want to accept it. We want to stop He's pointing at the people. He's attacking people. You who are attacking. Not attacking. Why are you pointing at us? Not attacking. Why are you talking? That's what they mean. That's what yeah, but they don't want solution. How? That is too salam. No, you don't do that. See, they want the language to be wanting to change. They know me now. They know me now. Why
So this happened yesterday at the Pan-African Summit in South Africa. What brought them to this disagreement, to this level of disagreements? The Nigerian MP says South African government need to tackle this xenophobic attack going on against foreigners in South Africa. And the South African MP say they disagree. Their sole focus is on crime committed by foreigners. And the Nigerian MPs asked them, what about the crimes that are being committed by these March and March leaders and these March and March members? That is what brought them to this tension, this level of disagreement. But I have one question though. Why do South Africans get angry, get mad whenever you brought up the conversation about the xenophobic attack going on in South Africa? They seem to get mad. It seems to trigger them. Are you guys supporting them to commit those crimes? Because whenever they brought up the conversation, you guys seem to get mad. It seems to piss you off. And you guys also get mad if someone says you guys are xenophobic. This is what being xenophobic means, right? You guys are supporting them to attack their fellow blacks. You guys are supporting them. And you guys tend to get mad whenever someone says you guys are xenophobic. See, this is the difference between Nigerians and South Africans or other Africans. We will tell you as it is, even in your own country, face to face. We know they fear una.
Nigerian and South African lawmakers clash over the word xenophobia at a conference held in Malawi. Now, Nigerians is telling South Africans how they should label what's going on in their country with immigration, and South Africa is pushing back. They're like, look, our delegation reject the use of the term, arguing it was unwarranted in the deliberations and that discussion should instead address irregular migration and the enforcement of immigration laws. Now, who is Nigeria? Nigeria has a list of problems. They're the hungriest country on the planet. They have more people starving in Nigeria than the entire population of Ghana. And you're over here standing up about the fight South African lawmakers about how they should label their immigration problem in their country. You have bigger fish to fry. You have bigger jollof to cook, right? Bigger pots of jollof to cook in your own country. Now, this meeting is supposed to have been around cooperation with regional, African regional countries addressing human rights issues, but somehow it came about focusing on what South Africa, what labels they should use in their own country. And by the way, Nigeria, y'all still owe South Africa. They're talking about you need to pay them back for, room and boarding the Nigerians and deporting them back home. Like y'all owe them. Y'all still owe them. But yeah, let me know what y'all think about this whole situation. I just feel like if you're coming from a failing country, if your country is in shambles, who are you to tell somebody else's country who's being run more successful than your country how to label what's going on in their country?
Borders for who? For what? What makes you fall in love with these borders? Someone must just convince me, because you are unemployed now with borders. You are unemployed. You are suffering. You are poor now with borders. What benefit does it come with these borders? And the borders have fallen, by the way. We look like crazy people. Because there is no fence. There's only gate. Gate without a fence. Those people in Lesotho, they just come across here during Sasa Day to collect Sasa and go back. And then weekend, they cross this side, 1 or 2. When they are fine, they go back. There's no stamping of passport, nothing. Swaziland, Mozambique, Botswana, Zimbabwe. It's done. Society is ahead of us. We're backward. You come here and say, we want a decolonized education, and then you embrace borders that were imposed on us by the colonizers. We can't. You can't say, on the other hand, I hate colonialism. On the other hand, I support the borders. The borders is colonialism. Because the unity of Africa is a threat to the imperialists. Of course. They don't want us together. No, this America's economy is made by foreigners. Who's that Elon Musk? Elon Musk. He's not an American. South African. Yes. So you love them when they have money. When they don't have money, they are not. You call them illegal. You call people of Guyana illegal. Today, as we speak, someone was addressing Bheki Cele. They're saying in this police station there are too many Tsonga-speaking police and vendors. Where are we going to get? Be careful what you are asking for. Be careful what you are asking for, especially when at the dark one. I mean, Craig. You see, if we will survive. No, just look at this one.
1.5 million people in the Southern African region died, right, for solidarity with us, for us to be able to win that constitution, right? Countries like Mozambique, Angola, and all of that, they were devastated, losing up to 70 to 75% of their GDP. People forget the war against apartheid, and by apartheid, was not fought militarily in this country. Right? That is the reason you see the region we're in is in so much destruction. Factories, hospitals, all this public infrastructure was destroyed because of military aggression chasing leaders of the ANC in Lesotho, in Mozambique, Angola, and everywhere. That's the cost of winning that constitution. But let's come to the issues of crimes. They say that they're interested about, they are outraged about human trafficking. Right? These are people that get support from MK. MK is being charged with trafficking of, people from KZN to Russia.
No, I have a challenge again, my brother, because we're bringing people in political parties that are not here. We continue this conversation after the break.
We have to tell young people the truth.
Yes.
And you see, when the country is in trouble, it's not time to lie.
Yes.
Look each other in the eyes and tell each other the truth. Here is the truth about South Africa, economic life in South Africa. If you have not been to school, you will not find a job.
Yes.
Full stop.
Yes.
And we've now reached, and this, by the way, this movie has been seen elsewhere in Africa. When they got their independence, they were excited and then 20 years, 30 years, they wake up and realize, whoa, this political independence thing is not the same as economic emancipation. So if you have not been to school, my good friend, you will not find a job. Full stop.
Yes.
If you have been to school, you stand a better chance of finding a job.
Yes.
Just look at statistics. Graduate unemployment in South Africa is between 10 and 15%. Youth unemployment in South Africa is above 60%. That tells you a clear story. Those who have been to school, they stand a better chance to find employment. Those who have not been to school, they shall not find employment. That's the first thing that they must understand. And the question is, what do they do about that information? If you are below 35, you have a child, you must insist that your child must go to school. You must insist your child must go to school. Otherwise, you will not break the curse of poverty in your family. You see, me, I'm a son of a peasant. My father was a peasant in a village, my friend. My mother was a domestic worker. My mother is still around. How did I break the curse of poverty in my family? Is because I went to school and therefore I found a job and I've broken poverty. That's the starting point.
I am hurt because now we call it bullying. How can you go to somebody's shop and burn it? How can you go to somebody's shop and kill that person? Because of what? Tell me, South Africans, is it jealousy? Or what is it? Because I don't even understand what is going on anymore. Jacinta, when she started this thing, she didn't say let's close the shops. But those ones who are closing the shops, some of us are even looting the same shops that we say it must be closed. So is it because of closing the shops so that we benefit, or are we destroying ourselves? Because as it is right now, South Africa is being destroyed. Many shops have closed. If only one South African can tell me that, I had 12,000 rent and I went to pay for that shop, I'm using it, I will be glad. But if you go around, they are closed, no one is running it. What are we saying about the situation that we are facing right now? These people, guys, they are not criminals. They are here to assist us. They are here to build the communities with us. They are here to give us what we need. But now, if we say they must close their shops, where are we going to run to? Do you tell me that if you need bread, you will take taxi and go to town, go to the mall to just buy bread? Guys, let's be fair and honest. Let's use our common sense. This is totally wrong. I disagree with it. I am a South African. I'm not a foreign person, but what is wrong is wrong. And I will always tell people that what they are doing is wrong. We need to stand by the truth. We need to be true to ourselves. We need to see what is really going on. Are we building South Africa or are we destroying it? That is the question that I want you guys to ask yourselves. That are we building or are we destroying? Because me, on my own, I see us destroying our own country. Even if you guys, you don't see, I see that we are destroying our country. Because right now, you've closed that shop. Magogo now doesn't have anywhere to go to buy bread. Magogo cannot go to my friend now and say, my friend, I don't have cash. Can you please give me milli? I will see you month end. Will ShopRite do that for you? Ask yourselves those questions, that how are we benefiting from what we are doing?
Honorable, allow me to invite Senator Mohammed Dadutsa, leader of Nigerian delegation.
Thank you very much. The co-chairs, as far as the very important issue we are here today, and the two speakers, I want to sincerely appreciate the effort in building this inclusive parliament legislation and oversight strategy for advancing gender equity, youth participation. In Nigeria, as lawmakers, we have done a lot. My colleague has said it, and very importantly, we are working towards inclusion of all the stakeholders, most especially the women, youth, and the less privileged people. Because in my committee alone, we enact a law and to ensure access to education, which almost $500 million was set aside from the tax reform which we have done last year, and the money is on ground and is making effort to enhance and coordinate a very robust commitment of the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Nigerian Armed Forces, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, under the 10th Assembly, which I am representing the Senate President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the Speaker of the House of Representatives, who are unavoidably absent because of the national engagement. But we want to ensure that Africa work together to have access to most of these gender problems, and at the same time to face the current challenges, which I was rightly informed that they were discussed, most especially the unfortunate situation happening in South Africa, because that situation is alarming, is very dangerous, and is very barbaric, and is a very strategic issue which we as Africans, we are supposed to handle it as a matter of urgency. Because if we fail to do that, it will culminate to a lot of challenges, because we are supposed to face our internal African economic and political and immigration problems, so that we can have backward and forward integration of our economy, provided we cannot sit as legislators to ensure that Africans are allowed to move freely and to work as sisters and brothers, irrespective of tribe, irrespective of religion, irrespective of the regions they came from. We are nowhere to be found independently, because we allow foreigners from overseas to come and manipulate and determine what we are supposed to do as Africans. While we who are brothers keepers, who are sharing the same border, who are working together, somebody will migrate to South Africa, or will migrate to Nigeria, or will migrate to Egypt, or who will migrate to Botswana or Tanzania or Uganda. There is no any legal framework to protect his image and integrity. So I believe, Mr. Speaker, and the co-chair, we are supposed to put our house together to ensure transparency, to ensure equity, to ensure fairness, to ensure we protect the African Free Trade Agreement and all other related agreements, the Maputo Declaration, and this Commonwealth of Nations, which we are sitting without a resolve to face the challenging situation for the existing situation of the landmark of our people. I believe, Mr. Speaker, if we cannot do that, there is nowhere we can progress in Africa. There is a lot of gap which we need to face. These issues can be resolved if we agreed in a fair play that we are brothers keepers. We are yet to. We have to support the yet unborn generation for the betterment of Africa, because Africa is blessed. We have all the basic raw materials for development, so we need to integrate.
You see, what is happening in that parliament right now, the Commonwealth Parliament, is crazy. These are like MPs. So I know that when it comes to African Parliament, we've actually seen snippets of some of these confrontations and also arguments between MPs in various or different African countries. But bro, this is like different African countries coming together and we are seeing something like this. It is crazy. But this is a question that I have. What is happening in South Africa? You watching this video and you have seen whatever that has happened on the internet. If you are not from South Africa, at least you've seen what is happening on the internet. How do you describe what is happening in South Africa? How do you describe it? Are you going to say it is xenophobia, Afrophobia, or what? What are you going to? What name are you going to give it to? Give it to what is happening in South Africa? Because the South African representative is saying no, that shouldn't be the name, and the Nigerians too are saying yes, that should be the name, because that is exactly what is happening in South Africa against other Africans. So, bro, like this is crazy. This is crazy. You see, I for once, and this is something that we have actually heard. The president, I shared a video here. The president has even said the same thing, that these are some of the things that were happening to other Africans. We've had some South African well-known South African leaders or dignitaries who have also said same. Julius Malema, for instance, has said this, and he even once said it is government sponsored and all that. Like, bro, how do you want us to call this? What name should we give to this thing that is happening in South Africa against other Africans? I want to know. Share your thoughts in the comment section. Let's know, because this fight, I don't understand, all because of a name. This is a name that has been given to this thing, and it is not this year alone. This thing I learned started, I think, 2008 or 2005 thereabout, and it has been like that since. People have been unalived. All for what? You just want the person to leave your country. Just let the person leave your country. Let the authorities handle it. By looting their shops, doing this, doing that, that is where the problem is. I've always been saying this here, that it is not about pushing them away. It is about how you dealt with the matter or the situation. Charlie, share your thoughts in the comment section. Let us know. Thank you so much for watching.